I'm going to repeat this over and over again because it's so important to drill in your head, or in this case, my head. But quality repetitions are always going to be greater, better in the long run than quantity, especially when it comes to skills. I'll say for exercises too, but if you can only do one perfect rep, do one. Do not go on to do 4, 5, 6 with broken form, because there's just so many risks associated with broken form, broken technique, and pushing past your limits that aren't optimal. I promise you that. So, quality greater than quantity. And let's hope I abide by that today. Let's go. Testing. So we are starting with German hangs. And honestly, this is probably such a misunderstood exercise because it's not about strength. We're not testing and training strength here. We are training shoulder resiliency, flexibility, tendons, ligaments. We're training those to be stronger and being able to go through a full range of motion with maximum load and not failing you. So I have to look at it in that way. We got 20 seconds here, Controlled. Ribs down, long body. 4 minutes. You actually don't want to squeeze the core too much. Light squeeze. These are feeling so much better. I definitely feel a lot more comfort. And again, I've lost track of time. See, I tried something there. Tried to come out after doing that long static hold. Probably not a good idea. Won't do that again, but not bad. I feel that my shoulders are feeling a lot better, and also I'm not as scared. But right here, my elbow, man, that's where I feel it more than anything. I'm genuinely hoping this is a good angle because we're getting ready to do our back lever tug. So 3 cues here. I do want to engage the core. I do want to squeeze my glutes, and then I also want to pull my hips to the bar, and that's what we're going to try to do in this one. All right, here we go. Back lever tug. Here we're also going to have a little posterior pelvic tilt. So yeah, right now I'm pulling my hips to the bar, keeping that straight arm. So right there, I really tried to get those knees crunched into my chest, squeezing my core, squeezing my glutes. I actually forgot to squeeze my glutes. So that's probably why my technique was a little wonky. But there's a lot of cues. And again, that mind-body awareness, I'm gonna say it over and over again. You have to really connect with your body, and these moves become so much easier. But I'm feeling a lot better. Moving on to skin the cat. Again, I'm focusing on quality, so we're only gonna do 3. Won't do more than 3. And the coaching cues are the same. Keeping a tight body, straight arms, and leading with the shoulders. Also, we gotta stay active, so here we go. Straight arms, strong grip. Control. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes, sir. Yeah, these are good. Going to stop in 2, and let me tell you why. I don't think I gave myself enough rest on the last set because I'm just feeling a lot of fatigue, and my elbow here start to feel some pain. So a cue that you gotta stop. I'm gonna give myself a little bit longer rest. So we'll do 3 next time. But again, I'm playing it by feel. Playing it by feel. My body's still making the adjustments to these type of resistance. And if you're wondering, man, Josh, why aren't you pushing yourself? You know, you got a little bit more in the tank. This is where the separation of skill and exercise becomes really important, because for skills, you do not want to push yourself to a technical breakdown. That will lead to injury, that will lead to plateau, that will lead to bad habits. For an exercise like pull-ups, push-ups, hell yeah, push it, push that limit. Don't leave any reps in reserve. But you know, you have a lot more flexibility when it comes to core technique. With these skills, there's very room for error. I promise you that. You do not want to push your limits on skill work, especially if you're new. Like, if you're new, you better not. You better not. One thing I forgot to mention at the beginning, you want to bring your knees to your chest before rotating. Allow me to demonstrate. Hopefully correctly. Man, I really only have 2 in the tank. On to the front lever. Again, my biggest cue, squeezing the glutes, squeezing the core. We don't want to see a dip. Now, again, my wife is here, so of course I'm gonna take my shirt off. Of course I am. But it's part of it. I have to.
Killer.
I know she like it. So the advanced front tuck, posterior tilt, that keeps your hips aligned. So really want to keep that alignment. All right, enough talking, let's do it.
Killer.
So the reason why I start in a tuck is because I'm actually depressing my shoulders, squeezing my core, squeezing my glutes, and then slowly lowering into position so my hips are aligned, so my back isn't sinking. And it makes it a lot more easier when you start that way. I see online where people go straight into it, but you know, they're more advanced, they're more experienced. Me, I'm brand new. So I gotta start, get all my cues right, and then lower, and we're still bad. I'm gonna have my shirt on, so you're not gonna be able to see my technique, but I'm gonna say it out loud. So here we go. So I'm gonna get into this tuck position. Tuck. I'm gonna depress my shoulders, squeeze my glutes, engage my core. And I think that may be a PR. So, shoulders depressed, glutes squeezed, abs squeezed, hips aligned, slowly lower, boom, bop, boom, bam. Much easier said than done. I promise you that. All right, we are finally to the easy stuff. And I say that very loosely because now this allows me to work my false grip. So I'm learning the muscle up, gotta do my false grip. I can finally train that. The only issue is my freaking hands are so slippery, I can't hang on to the damn bar. So we're gonna see how this goes. Boy, I hope I don't slip and bust my freaking bum, dude. But same thing, elbows in, slow, control. We're pulling as high as we can, and I repeat, no kipping, zero swing. Obviously, control what you can control. Here we go. Hands are slipping. Those look good. This is now I have false football. Outside of that first rep, that was a huge fail. I know what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to either bring some chalk, get some gloves, or get some athletic tape that I can wrap around that bar. So we're gonna do pull-ups the regular way, but I definitely am on to something there, 100%. Without the false grip, this is really impractical, but we're just gonna try to make sure everything else is perfect. So strong grip, body tension, pulling as high as we can. Doesn't get any better than that, baby. That's textbook. But next time, I'll definitely have the tools I need to practice that hollow false grip. Hey. All right, we're down to our final set. Since I don't have a false grip, I'm gonna add 10 pounds. So we have 35 pounds. And side note, oh my goodness, I'm so freaking gassy right now. All right, hopefully that'll give me some power. All right, we're finished. So, another one in the books. Overall, I feel that I had some really good reps. And again, that quality is going to be the most important part in this journey. And also just being patient, just trying to learn every single skill from a biomechanical perspective. And, all of it's tough, all of it's challenging. It requires a lot of research. I watch a lot of videos, just trying to figure out how I can put myself in the best position. And today was a step forward, so we're getting better. I can feel it, I can see it, and that's all that I need to stay motivated. So we'll see you guys next time. I'll be back in here on Friday for the final workout of week 2. Let's go.